This is Jason with HCRBeta, and this is podcast number 1. And I'm going to be talking to Scottie Mcelroy. I'll bring him on in just a moment, but before we get started, I have a couple of quick shout-outs for some excellent companies that I work with. The hammock in my background is Hobo Hammocks. They're a fantastic company with a very big heart. We'll put some links at the end of the, or at the bottom inside the notes. And then Organic Climbing, which you boulders will be familiar with, makes the world's best bouldering pads, and they're made in the USA. And then the last shout out is for ClimbOn Skin Care. I've been using ClimbOn for probably close to 10 years, and they are a fantastic company and worth checking out. And that's it. So right now I'm going to bring on Scottie Mac. Scottie, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, Scottie, you are the manager at Dynamic Earth in Springfield, is that correct?
That's correct, yeah. I'm the general manager here, that's correct.
And you also have a not-for-profit called Project Ascent. And you could tell us about it now, or we could just get to it later when we talk about it.
Yeah, let's just get to the questions, and we'll talk about it when we get there.
All right, let's just jump right in. As most of you have read on the HCRBeta.com blog, usually when I write an interview, I start with get to know so-and-so in 15 seconds, and I write just some casual questions. And so the first question, Scottie, what's your favorite cereal?
You know, I am not a cereal guy. I have not eaten cereal in many, many years, but I'll tell you, I start every day with a smoothie.
What's in your smoothie?
Oh, every vegetable I can get my hands on. So I put everything in there from spinach and kale and carrots and ginger to Brussels sprouts, and I kind of mask all those nasty flavors with some blueberries, and it turns out pretty well.
Wow. How long have you been doing that?
Oh, I think I've been doing that for the last 4 years.
Oh, my goodness. All right. So for those of you...
perfect way to start your day.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know Scottie, I met Scottie through the climbing community, and he is one of the most fit guys that you'll meet. So with me knowing who you are, what has happened in your body in the last 4 years of having that for your breakfast?
I tell you what, it's one of those things where you get out what you put in. You put in good nutrients and whole foods, and that's how you're going to perform. I've noticed that, even as I start to get older, that, you put in good foods and you heal faster, you sleep better, and you're ready to perform the next day. Right
on. Well, I'll get those notes from you of exactly what your smoothie recipe is, so that if somebody listening wants to try that, they'll be able to just follow the directions. Sure. Okay, cool. All right, next question is, the last good book I read is...
I read The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. That was a great book that I read when I took a vacation this past fall.
Right on. I've heard a lot of people say that they've read that book, and it was very insightful. Next question. The extreme sport that I will never try is...
Oh, that is totally going to be skydiving. You will not find me jumping out of a perfectly good airplane.
Do you have a fear of heights, or why won't you skydive?
No, I just have a fear of hitting the ground.
I don't think there's a better answer than that. All right, how about next question? The extreme food that I will never eat is...
There's not really a food on my list that I would not try at least once if the dare was big enough. I'm pretty open when it comes to those weird things, and as far as food goes, I'm willing to give everything a shot at least once.
Gotcha. All right. Next question. I know that you're a bicyclist, and would you bike from Argentina to Alaska or South Africa to Scotland, and why?
That's kind of a tough one. All of those multi-day epic adventures are interesting, but I think I would have to go with South Africa to Scotland. I've always had a heart for Africa. I've always thought it was just a beautiful place, and a place that I still haven't had the opportunity to travel to, but I would love to go there. And I mean, with Scotland, it's, you know, it's part of my namesake, so I think that's, you know, an obvious choice. But, you know, Scotland as well, just beautiful, beautiful countryside from what I've seen. You know, I've done a decent amount of cycling here in the States, so I could consider part of that Argentina to Alaska taken care of. So I would, without a doubt, South Africa to Scotland.
Sure. Have you ever read Jupiter's Travels?
No, I have not.
I guess it's the first guy in the 70s. His name escapes me right now. I guess I could look it up. Well, I'm going to look it up while we're talking because I can. Jupiter's
right on.
Travels. All right, Ted Simon. This is the book. There's some history here. Did you ever watch Ewan McGregor's Long Way Round? His epic motorcycle adventure? I haven't watched it,
but I have definitely heard of it.
All right, so Ewan McGregor was inspired by this guy Ted Simon in his book called Jupiter's Travels, and he was the first one that took the 4-year motorcycle journey, starting in England and then driving all the way down through Africa, and then taking a boat to Brazil and riding all the way around the earth. And I think it was 4 years. Really great book, fantastic book to read for those who love adventure books. All right, I'm going to move on to the next question, Scottie. Your preferred method of water filtration when you're out camping, what is the device or the system that you use to filter your water?
Yeah, so I think the one that I end up using more often than not, you know, working in a gear shop, you have the ability to try out a lot of different kinds and find out which one works best for you. I actually really like a very simple one by Katadyn called the Hiker Pro. It's an indestructible water filter. You know, we call it our scout filter. It's one that we can hand off to a bunch of scouts, and we don't have to worry about breaking it and dropping it, and it's very easy to replace the parts. So that's been my go-to water filter for a considerable amount of time. Right on.
And you guys sell that in the store at Dynamic Earth?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. You want to tell me what the current price is?
I want to say the current price is $59.
Okay, cool. And then if it's, you know, we can put that in the notes too if we want to promote that. So that's usually how the first part of the interview goes, where I just let everybody get to know who you are. And one of the reasons why I do that, I mean, when I first got into climbing and started to, you know, go to the different shops. I mean, you were working, I think we first met when you worked at Backwoods years ago. And I have this philosophy where it's easy to buy from friends. So, you know, you and I became friends. It was easy to go to you for advice and find out, you know, should I buy this? What do you think about this one? And that's one of the reasons why I like to do this part of the interview, where people get to know, you know, Scottie's just a regular guy.
Yep.
All right, so let's get into the thick of the other questions in the interview. Next question is, why should I have Kansas City climbing community, but it can be any community that ends up driving through Springfield. Why do we need to stop into the Dynamic Earth in Springfield, Missouri?
Yeah, so you know, Dynamic Earth, our employees are all climbers. We all love to be outdoors, and we love to experience nature. So we're a shop that is filled with people, you know, just like the community that stops here. You know, you can also generally pick up some good data on some projects that are down there and find out which areas are going to be wet versus dry depending on the weather conditions.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, us being a little bit closer can also offer some insight into the climbing areas.
So are you opening up the store to, like, if I wanted to drive down and do some biking or climbing in Springfield or Arkansas, can I call the store and find out what the conditions are? Are you opening up your store to that?
I didn't catch that last part. What did you say?
Are you opening up your store for us to just call in whenever, like if I'm taking a trip down to Springfield and I want to know what the conditions are, you know, if it's dry enough for a bike ride or if it's dry enough for some climbing, can I call the store?
Most definitely. We are also the hotline for the Two Rivers Mountain Bike Park. So yeah, anybody can feel free to call the shop and ask any question about the current climbing situations. And if we've got the information or we will let you know. And if we don't have it, we'll do everything in our power to get it for you.
Perfect. All right, and again, we'll get to the best way to contact you, but I'll leave the Dynamic Earth phone number in the notes as well. All right, next question is, do you have any sales or discounts going on currently in the store or promotions?
Right now we are just getting into the spring season, so all of the products we have coming in is brand new. So there's not anything per se that's on sale in the shop, but Dynamic Earth does offer basically a climbing community discount. We will give climbers 15% off anything climbing related in the store.
Yep, perfect.
So there's kind of always a sale going on for the climbers, but I don't have any big promotions going on currently.
Okay, good to know. The next question is, what's an affordable gift to give to your fellow climber or someone who loves the outdoors? If there's a birthday coming up, what does somebody walking in the store walk in and say, I don't know what to get my climbing buddy, what do you suggest? What's your typical answer, Scottie?
I would say the top 3 items for a climber or just a general outdoor enthusiast is a good headlamp, a good knife, and a hammock. Those are 3 things that we try to stay in stock with all the time because they're wonderful, wonderful gifts. And, generally with the advancements in lighting technology and all the new knives coming out, there's a good chance that you can find something that someone would enjoy. Yeah, okay, great tips.
All right, you mentioned the Two Rivers Bike Trails, that you guys are the hotline. That's been open fairly recently in the last year or two. Tell us why a Kansas City area bicyclist should come down and visit Two Rivers Bike Trails.
Oh, yes, we've got a wonderful trail system down here, like you mentioned, called Two Rivers. It's constantly being added onto. It offers everything from XC-style racing to some all-mountain. We even have 2 downhill trails as well as the slope style. So a cyclist of kind of any interest can come down here to Two Rivers and enjoy themselves. It was built by Trail Progression, which was the group that also worked on Slaughter Pen down in Bentonville. So there's a lot of very educated people building these trails and building them in a very, very intelligent way. Okay.
Is there a fee to enter that?
No, part? Two Rivers is absolutely free. It is mandatory that you bring and wear your helmet. So, outside of that, the only stipulation is that you're safe.
Okay. What kind of facilities are down there? Do they have pit toilets or porta potties or anything that a new person coming down there for the first time needs to know to have a more enjoyable time?
Yeah, there are facilities down there. There's even running water that you can wash your bike. The caretaker down there, his name is Adam Carsey. He's a super nice guy. He's full of a wealth of information about the trail system and/or could, answer any questions if you got out there and didn't realize, what to do. There's also maps, very strategically placed, and the trail system is very well marked when you're on the trail.
Okay, good to know. All right, we're kind of looping back around here. The next question I had written out is what's the best way to stay connected to Dynamic Earth? I know you guys have a Facebook presence. What else is a good way to stay connected with Dynamic Earth?
Outside of Facebook, we are huge Instagram users. My other manager, Valerie Rudy, is on top of Instagram. So Instagram and Facebook are the 2 best ways. We do have a website, but you will always find more current information on our Facebook and Instagram.
All right, good to know. Good to know. And then let's see here. You already talked about what is new at Dynamic Earth. So let's step away from the store and let's talk about your not-for-profit Project Ascent and tell the viewers who may not be familiar with Project Ascent, what is it?
Yeah, so this is a nonprofit that I started when I lived in Austin, Texas a couple years ago. And when I moved to Springfield, Missouri, my girlfriend and I, Brandy Keltner, relaunched Project Ascent. And basically what it is we find either underprivileged and or at-risk youth, and we give them the opportunity to experience rock climbing. So we will partner with Barry down at the Horseshoe Canyon Ranch, and we facilitate a day of climbing at obviously at no cost to them.
Right on, right on. How can the climbing or outdoor community support Project Ascent?
Yeah, so I mean, there's many, many ways to support something that you believe in or that you think is doing the right thing. Outside of financial contribution, we are always looking for people who want to partner with us, who want to partner as far as offering the services that they might, that they are good at, or connecting us with the people that could possibly help the nonprofit.
Okay, and Project Ascent also
so everything from grant writers to monetary contributions to volunteers.
Okay, and yet Project Ascent also has a Facebook presence. Is that correct?
Yes, it does. Yeah, you can find that link on my website or on my Facebook page, as well as just searching Project Ascent.
Okay, and obviously I'm going to put those connection notes in the show notes at the bottom of the video here. All right, let's move on. Tell me a little. Let's talk a little bit more about Project Ascent, because I think it's very important that in the climbing community. I mean, we're all. I mean, even I have a degree of selfishness when I want to climb outside and my goals, and I want to get better. But when you take your time to start an organization that only benefits others, let's talk more about that. So tell me a little bit more. I know that you, and I'll also in the show notes I'll refer to the article that you wrote about it, but tell again the viewers who aren't familiar with Project Ascent, why? What was the reasoning behind getting started and starting this to benefit others?
I've always loved to be an educator. I have a couple of degrees that involve working with youth and working with individuals where I can have the ability to teach them something. And when it came down to rock climbing, when I was younger, I had an opportunity was presented to me to go on a rock climbing trip, and I was very, very stoked about it. I could not have been more excited, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to raise or gather the funds to go. And, when I was 13, 14 years old, it was pretty devastating to see my friends be able to go and enjoy this adventure, and I had to stay home because of not having the money.
Yep.
So it's always just been in the back of my mind to start something that will give kids an opportunity to experience something that they wouldn't have that opportunity unless there was no cost associated with it.
Yeah, that is a big deal. So how many Project Ascent outings have you had since you've started the organization?
Ooh, multiple ones, and often, honestly, enough down there that I kind of lost count. Since we relaunched the program here in Springfield, we've taken out four groups of kids.
Right on. When's your next one planned for?
We actually had one planned for this weekend, but it unfortunately fell through. So for the foreseeable future, I don't have anything scheduled.
Okay. And then how do we know about that? So if your next event comes up in the next couple of weeks or next couple of months, how are we going to know that you need volunteers or you need additional funding where the community can rally around you and help that happen?
Yeah, the best way to do that is just to stay connected with us on our Facebook. Okay. So if you like the page, you can also sign up on Facebook for notifications. If Project Ascent posts something about an upcoming trip, you would get a notification for that. And that's really the best way to stay connected. You can also leave or message us with your email address, and we have compiled a database of interested people who want an email from us letting them know when we have something going on, be it an event, that we're taking kids out for a fundraiser or really just a call to action where we're looking for support from the community.
Perfect. Good to know. All right, let's, if you don't mind, let's move on a little bit. Let's talk about
Yeah, of course.
Springfield as a community itself. So for those of us who would take a trip down for climbing or biking or just an outing, what's the best local place? Not a main chain place, but what's the best, like a mom and pop place to eat lunch or dinner in Springfield?
You know, Brandy and I are big burger eaters. When we go out, we look to try to find the best burger that we can get our hands on. And Springfield, luckily, is a community of really good burgers. There's a couple that we try to frequent whenever we get the hankering to go out. One is called The Order. It's a burger place that's inside the Vandervoort Hotel, which is downtown. They do a phenomenal job. They source all of their ingredients locally, which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
Just down from them is a place called Black Sheep. They're also a great burger place, and it's owned by a local guy, Mike Gillilly. He owns a couple restaurants here in Springfield. And I would be, if I didn't mention Brewco, so it's Springfield Brewing Company. They have a great burger, and being a brewing company, they brew beer there as well.
Okay, and that would be my next question. Who has the best local beer?
See, now that is actually a little bit of an in debate because we've got 3 different beer places here, and they all do a great job. If you're looking for my personal favorite, I would say Brewco.
Okay.
But Mother's Brewing is also 400 yards down the street from them, and they are just a brewery, so they do a great job. And then we have White River Brewing, which is on Commercial Street. So we've got 3 places that you can get some pretty good beer in town.
Nice. Good to know. All right. I've got my next question is, summer is right around the corner. What is your personal go-to piece of clothing that you constantly wear?
Oh, man. That's going to be my Chaco flip-flops. I don't go anywhere without my Chaco flip-flops. They go to every camping trip, every climbing trip, and I generally have a pair at the store in case I ride in. So I'm never without those guys.
Okay, right on. And you sell Chaco brand at Dynamic Earth?
We do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Good to know. Okay, next question. What's your go-to camping gadget that goes on every outdoor adventure with you, Scottie?
Ooh, I would say that's going to be my Benchmade knife.
Okay.
That stays by my side all the time. Be it from some cutting some cordelette or webbing to eating almond butter out of a jar. It comes in handy a lot of times.
Okay. Next question is, all right, for beginners now, and I guess it can be in any category: camping, biking, climbing. What are 3 tips to relax and enjoy the outdoors?
I would say first and foremost, don't take yourself too seriously. A lot of times we want to be really good at something when we do it the first time. So we'll get frustrated if we're not, and that can lead, that can make a really good day turn into a bad one. So I would say don't take yourself too seriously.
Yep.
Have the right gear. If you are properly prepared, everything is going to be more comfortable. You're going to sleep more comfortably. You're going to be warmer. You're going to be cooler depending on the conditions. So gear is super, super important as well. And I would say the third one, try new things.
Yep.
It's really good to get out of our element. And, we're all a beginner at something. So trying something new and giving yourself the opportunity to succeed or fail, it's always a learning experience. So taking those successes and failures and turning them into a learning experience I think is crucial.
Yeah, agreed. Those are good tips. All right, next question, again, which applies to all 3 categories, camping, biking, or climbing. how do you embrace, or how do you help others embrace the leave no trace ideals?
Always be prepared. Always have a trash bag or something that you can bring with you on every excursion. And you know what? It's okay to stop your mountain bike ride and pick up some trash on the trail if you see it. Your heart rate's not going to drop too much, so you can still get in that good killer workout while still protecting the environment.
Yeah. Right on. All right, and this is a couple of logistic questions. So specifically to Kansas City. So if a Kansas City climber or a bicyclist gets rained out, are there good places to camp in Springfield? Are there good places? Is there a good hotel in your network, outdoor network, that might accommodate?
So there's not really any places that you can camp in Springfield. That's one thing that I feel like we are lacking. As far as a hotel, if you use the Candlewood Suite and you say that you're, associated with Dynamic Earth, or you have you're a Dynamic Earth fan, they will generally give you a little bit of a discount, and they are just catty corner from our shop.
Ah, good. Yeah, that can be important, because I've been rained out a couple of times in Arkansas, and had to drive back in the middle of the night. Those aren't fun trips. So having a
no, not indeed.
So having a backup plan where you need a hotel, that's good to know. Thank you for that. Let's see here. Is there a place in Springfield to get a free shower?
There is. Dynamic Earth.
Okay.
As long as we're open, we've got a shower in the back, and I'd be more than happy to open it up to any climber, cyclist who's passing through or needs a good place to get cleaned up.
Okay, good to know. And then my last
outside of that, it's not necessarily free, but if you're going to be rained out, you should check out our local climbing gym, Zenith, and they have full showers there, so you can kind of kill two birds with one stone with that one.
Awesome. Yeah, really excited about Zenith opening up. I talked to Everett, and we're going to do an interview with him as well. So really, really excited that Springfield has a full service climbing gym. So it'll be fun to promote that, and I hope I get a chance here soon to get down there and climb. Let me ask, the last written question I have, Scottie, is where can you get the best cup of coffee in Springfield?
Ooh, we've got some good coffee here in Springfield. There's a place that just opened up recently called Cherry Picker.
Okay.
It is a coffee bar / regular bar, and they're off of Pickwick, kind of in between Dynamic Earth and downtown. It's a great vibe and atmosphere over there. Super friendly and inviting. So right now, that is totally my choice for the best cup of coffee in Springfield.
Cool. Scottie, that's all the questions I have. Do you have anything else that you want the listeners to know about either Dynamic Earth or Project Ascent, or any other tips or words of wisdom?
I would just say, next time you're passing through, when I lived in Kansas City, and Jason, you and I first started hanging out and we're coming down to Arkansas to climb, I always just passed straight through Springfield. I didn't feel like there was any reason for me to stop. I was so close to Arkansas, and I had what I needed. But I'd say I'd urge people to stop in and say hi and check out the shop. Dynamic Earth is a LEED Platinum building, which is kind of cool. The owner, the guy who started Dynamic Earth, Matt O'Reilly, has a big vision and passion for green buildings. So we do a lot of really cool stuff, from collecting rainwater off the roof to having a concrete that's porous to using solar lights whenever we can. So just stopping by and checking out the shop can be pretty cool.
Yeah, right on.
So I'd urge you guys to swing by, say hi.
Right on. Man, Scottie, thank you so much for doing this first podcast with me, and I'll be sure to write out all of the notes in the bottom of the video and link everything up. And with that, I think we'll end. Thank you so much, Scottie.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. Cheers.
All right, cheers. All right, now I'm disconnecting with Scottie. That was episode, I guess, number 1, or podcast number 1 with HCRBeta. Thanks for watching and listening to us, and be sure to visit the links. If you missed something in the video and you want to refer back or at least connect with Scottie and his Project Ascent, which is very, very cool, please do that. And I guess that's it. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.